Tree frog, it's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time,
Salut, bande de pauvres nuls! J'espère que vous avez la forme, moi je vais impeccable. Alors on se retrouve aujourd'hui pour le troisième opus de la saga Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistance. Bon, il y a marqué Snake Eater, mais j'ai la version Subsistance. Elle est beaucoup mieux. Bref, petite info. Excusez-moi. Je suis retourné sur la version PCSX2 parce que le problème que j'ai sur la version RCPS 3, c'est que d'une, j'ai rien complété du tout. Donc tout ce qui est camouflage, tout ce qui est les flingues et tout, j'ai rien complété du tout. Donc j'ai pas voulu me refaire chier à chercher tous les camouflages à chaque fois. Attends, parce que... Tac. Et du coup, j'ai continué sur la version PCSX2 parce que pour moi, disons que niveau graphisme, elle est beaucoup mieux que la HD. Alors me dites pas pourquoi, je sais rien. Donc, attends, hop. Attendez. Voilà, l'inconvénient avec ce PCSX2, c'est faut qu'à chaque fois je refasse les configurations des manettes, c'est chiant. Bref, je vais essayer de faire vite fait ce jeu-là. Mais je vais essayer de faire vite fait ce jeu-là pour qu'à 21h on puisse commencer Metal Gear Solid 4. Donc, voilà. Bon, alors. Alors oui, c'est en anglais, il faut à chaque fois que j'aille dans le menu pour, euh, pour configurer ces trucs. Donc, euh, On va charger une partie. Alors j'ai vachement avancé là-dessus parce que, regardez, chaque sauvegarde c'est une partie différente. Enfin, sauf celle-là parce que j'avais eu peur que ça avait planté. Donc, très facile, facile, normal, difficile, expert, européenne, extrême. Alors, 2h35 les mecs. Et sans tricher. C'était vachement balèze. En tout cas, je remercie les save states parce que chaque fois que je me faisais repérer, j'avais juste fait une petite tricherie, c'est avec les save states pour éviter que je me fasse choper. Bon, on va pas se faire chier, on va faire ça. De toute façon, le jeu, que ce soit un très facile ou européen extrême, y a pas tellement de différence. Donc, hop. Ouais. Allez, à tout à l'heure les mecs.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Flying over Pakistan, altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission. Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why'd he want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the West. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No, according to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us.
Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selinoyarsk in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the West. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talon?
She's equipped with 2 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as 2 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong,
You'll be eating dinner, breakfast,
and all the rest of your meals in the jungle. Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Bon alors, on arrive dans la forêt de Dremuchi. Ouais. Donc, hop, on débute. Tac. Bon, on va récupérer le sac à dos pour le début. Hop. Attends. Attends. Plutôt que d'aller ici, je vais aller là-bas. Attends. Hop. Hop. Il est là-haut. Alors, sans le sac à dos, on peut accéder à Agdal. Ça nous sert pas. Attends. Mais grimpe du con. Oh, attends, j'ai un petit souci. Attends. Non, c'est pas ça. Tac. Hop. Ok. J'avais juste un petit problème de configuration parce qu'il voulait pas monter à l'arbre ce con. Attends, hop. Tac.
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger-happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So, how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
The boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Oh.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top secret mission.
Hmm.
You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, Technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your code name is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
Arrêtez de faire l'andouille. C'est nul. Non, je rigole. Alors, hop, je vais vous faire un petit peu le tour des trucs. Ça, c'est les camouflages. Hop, visage. Hop, on peut changer. Forêt, noir, flotte, désert, éclat, kabuki, zombie, oyama. Ça, c'est les petits Raiden. Ça, c'est vert. Alors, ça, c'est Shrek. Non, je rigole. La jauge des prises. Ça veut dire que quand on est suspendu, eh ben, ça se videra pas. Ça, c'est le O2 pour la flotte. Hop, infini. Ça, c'est pour les munitions illimitées. Hop. Mais on va pas gâcher les cinématiques avec ces signes chinois sur la gueule. L'Union soviétique, Royaume-Uni, France, Allemagne, Italie, Espagne, Suède, Japon, États-Unis. Ok, bon, on va laisser éclat. Hop. Ça, c'est à poil. Et vous voyez, à poil. Ouais, bah ça, c'est ce que j'avais téléchargé, mais on va pas les prendre. Ça, c'est kaki. Qui a dit kaki? Rayures de tigre. Feuille. Écorce d'arbre. Choco. Éclat. Goutte de flotte. Carré complètement dégueu. Flotte. Black. Neige. Combinaison furtive. Ça limite les dégâts. Smoking. Ça, c'est la classe. Dard de gros con. Spider-Man. Mousse. Feu. Esprit. Guerre froide. Serpent. Gecko. Tigre du désert. DPM. Flectarn. Désert australien. Animal. Mouche et banane. Alors, chaque camouflage ont leur spécialité. Bon, eux, mis à part que ça change l'indice des camouflages. Ça, c'est bon pour tout ce qui est en forêt. Celui-là, celui-là et celui-là. Pareil pour celui-là. Ça, c'est bon pour la montagne. Éclat. Goutte d'eau, ça c'est quand il pleut. Carré. Flotte, ça c'est bon pour sur la flotte. Noir, c'est quand il fait noir. Neige. Combinaison furtive, alors ça c'est quelque chose de spécial. Réduit tous les dommages de moitié et ralentit l'utilisation de l'endurance. Ça c'est smoking, ça n'a pas tellement de spécialité. Dard de frelon, alors ça c'est quelque chose, un camouflage porté par The Pain. Alors oui, j'avais tous les camouflages avant d'affronter les mecs. En fait, il faut baisser leur psyché au lieu de bousiller leur vie. Permet d'éloigner les frelons, les araignées et les sangsues. Permet à celui qui le porte d'apprivoiser les frelons. Araignée, alors ça c'est cool, mais c'est moins cool. Le problème c'est que ça fournit un bon camouflage optique, mais fait diminuer l'endurance. Mais moi je me rappelle que quand j'avais joué sur PS2 à Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, je savais qu'on était caché. Camouflage optique c'est se cacher, c'est disparaître. Mais là dans celui-là je sais pas pourquoi il veut pas se cacher. Bref, on va pas rester 3 heures là-dessus. Mousse, alors ça c'est bien pour tout ce qui est niveau forêt Viatogornige ou Socroveno. Hop, tac. Ça veut dire que quand on est au soleil, l'endurance il baisse pas. Feu, ça c'est pour résister aux explosions. Parce que oui, on va se faire exploser la gueule à un moment donné. Mais disons que si on marche dans un endroit où il y a du feu, ça nous apportera pas de dégâts. Diminue de moitié les dommages reçus par des flammes ou des explosions. Tac. Ça, c'est quand tu prends quelqu'un en CQC, tu récupères son endurance et tu l'assommes. Tu vois? Et on fait plus de bruit en marchant. Tu vois? Permet à celui qui le porte de vider les ennemis de toute endurance en les étranglant en CQC. Tac. Guerre froide. Alors ça, c'est à deux côtés. T'as le côté soviétique et t'as le côté américain. Si le côté américain, tu les mets face aux ennemis, ils vont tirer dans la gueule. Si tu te mets côté russe, ils vont hésiter. Enfin, soviétique. Tu vois, les ennemis soviétiques hésiteront à vous attaquer. Tac. Serpent. Alors ça, ce motif des serpents, ça donne un beau camouflage, quel que soit l'environnement où on est. Mais bon, si tu mets ça dans un environnement de forêt, il n'y a rien de mieux que les camouflages qui correspondent à la forêt, genre rayures de tigre, kaki ou feuilles, voire même écorce d'arbre. Gecko, ça c'est un camouflage spécial pour entendre les grenouilles. Donc, On va l'essayer après. Tigre du désert, ça c'est pareil que pour Choco. Ça c'est bon pour le désert. Tu vois? Alors, l'avantage de ce camouflage-là, c'est que les silencieux, ils ne s'usent jamais. Tac. DPM. Hop. Permet de doubler la vitesse normale de récupération de vie. Tac. Fleckton, ça c'est pour éviter aussi. Alors celui-là. Ouais, celui-là c'est pour éviter que les batteries des sonars et détecteurs de mouvement et bref tout ce qui s'ensuit avec tous les équipements qu'il y a avec batterie, ça évite que les batteries ils s'usent. Tu vois? Tac. Des héros australiens, c'est bon pour les fonds blancs. Alors c'est peut-être un tout petit peu efficace dans les tout ce qui est montagne et tout ça. Attends. Tac. Tac. Permet également de réduire les dommages de 2 tiers. Animal, ça c'est pour éviter de trembler quand on prend un flingue. Éviter de trembler en visant avec une arme, tu vois? Tac. Mouche, ça tu risques pas de t'approcher tellement que tu schlingues. Regardez, un uniforme à l'odeur pestilentielle. Ils sont si mauvais qu'il attire les mouches. Mais vos ennemis réfléchiront 2 fois avant de s'approcher de vous. Tac. Banane. Alors ça, c'est que quand tu bouffes n'importe quoi, que ce soit des champignons vénéneux ou des champignons dégueulasses, eh ben ça c'est l'avantage de trouver tous les goûts de quel que ce soit des plantes ou des animaux, tous les goûts sont bons. Avec lui, toute nourriture a un goût excellent. Excellent. Alors, l'uniforme de gecko, je vais vous montrer à quoi il sert. On va le mettre tout de suite. Hop. Il m'a enlevé le camouflage éclat avec le camouflage et smoking. En fait, je fais le tour maintenant pour plus avoir à faire le tour ensuite. Parce qu'après, il va falloir qu'on... Ah, le camouflage optique, je l'ai déjà. Bah oui, parce que j'ai tiré dans la gueule des 64 kérotans. Oh, ça fait déjà un bail. Tac. Là, médicament de vie, c'est comme une ration, c'est pour récupérer de la vie. Là, c'est pour crever pour défaut. Là, c'est pour se réveiller quand on crève pour défaut. Le cigare, ben forcément, je vais pas vous apprendre ce que c'est. Les jumelles non plus. Caméra, c'est pareil, c'est pour prendre des photos. Détecteur de mouvement. Alors ça contient une batterie. Quand tu mets le camouflage Flecktown, eh ben la batterie, elle se vide jamais. Ça, c'est pareil. Ça, c'est pareil. Ça, on n'a pas besoin de batterie. Masque de singe. Tac. Ça, c'est bon. Tac. Niveau arme. Couteau de survie, MK22. Easy Gun, ça c'est des flingues qui endorment, c'est des tranquillisants. Ça c'est l'arme de slot, ça c'est l'arme des Zebos. Micro-directionnel, calorimate. Alors ça c'est quand tu le jettes à un ennemi, il se peut qu'il les bouffe. Mais bon, on va quand même pas être con, on va pas jeter ça. Nourriture, alors calorimate c'est quand on bouffe pour récupérer de l'endurance. Mais là comme on a l'endurance à fond, ça sert à gueule. Après, alors, pour écouter le son, t'es obligé de faire ça. Hop, et voilà. Alors, si tu le cherches, il doit être quelque part là-haut. Enfin bref, vous avez pigé. Et en fait, quand tu tires sur la grenouille, il y en a 64 dans le jeu, ça te permet d'avoir le camouflage optique. On va reprendre la tenue de base. Bref, ça, alors ça c'est le silencieux. Ça fait moins de bruit. Hein. Bon, ça c'est le micro directionnel et ça c'est l'easy gun. Bref, alors, hop, vous voyez? Alors, l'easy gun, l'avantage, c'est qu'il reste bloqué à 80%. Et si je m'accroupis, tac, 80%, je vais dans camouflage. Je prends l'uniforme feuille, c'est encore mieux que kaki, avec forêt. Et ben voilà. Et avec 90%, tu peux être sûr de pas te faire repérer. Donc voilà. Donc là, comme on a fait le tour, on va avancer dans le jeu parce que le jeu, il dure quand même belle lurette. Hop. On avance. Tac. Au moins, j'espère finir le jeu pour 20 heures. Au moins. Parce qu'après, faut que j'aille bouffer et faut que je me prépare pour Metal Gear Solid 4. Alors, après, pour chaque acte, ça équivaut à une vidéo. Donc, vu qu'il y a 5 actes, je vais faire 5 vidéos sur Metal Gear Solid 4. Toi, ta gueule! Oh, oh, oh! Il y en avait un là! Eh ben, compte pas sur moi pour me bouffer, du con. Hop. On peut endormir. Tac. Ferme ta gueule! Oh, on l'a réveillé. Ah, dégueulasse. Bon. Alors, j'ai plus rien à vous apprendre. Maintenant, on va suivre le jeu jusqu'à la fin. Vous avez pigé le concept et des trucs.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Tac. Bon.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting Camouflage from the Survival Viewer. The Uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the Face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the Camo Index. The Camo Index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Ouais, en gros, je me suis fait chier à expliquer quelque chose dont certaines personnes ne connaîtraient que dalle pour que l'autre espèce de connasse, elle le dise à ma place. Non mais qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel? Tiens, prends ça dans ta gueule, toi. Tu vois? Hop. Fais pas chier. Mais te casse pas la gueule. T'as même pas le temps d'alerter qui que ce soit. Et de toute façon, ils en ont rien à foutre. Arrête de te casser la gueule. Oui, je sais qu'il y a un flingue en dessous. Mais je vais pas le chercher parce qu'on a perdu assez de temps comme ça. Puis de toute façon, avec la durée de la mission, le flingue nous servira à gueule.
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Ben, on va le savoir vite fait.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. And do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Ouais. On va s'approcher tout doucement, mais sûrement. Hop. HQ, please respawn. Ah bon? Réveille-le pas, sale con. Non! Mais c'est pas vrai! Ah. Mais pourquoi qu'il l'a réveillé, le trou-duc? Sale con. Enfoiré.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. he has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB 812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come, I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Freeze!
So this is the legendary boss.
Huh?
Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz.
Huh.
What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
That's Major Ocelot to you. Don't you forget it.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
GRU operatives!
What is that stance? Huh. That gun. If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you.
Huh?
Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
Il s'est foutu de sa gueule, mais il s'est pris quand même une sacrée belle branlée. Attends. Hop. Hop. Tiens, regardez, on va se marrer. Regarde. Attends. On va essayer de se foutre ici. Regardez cette petite zigounette. Une zigounette tranquillisante. Attends. Tiens, dans ta gueule. Ça t'apprendra à te foutre de moi. Bon, on va aller se barrer et voir l'autre parce qu'il s'est enfui. Ça va être short hein, de finir le jeu pour 20 heures si avec toutes les cinématiques qu'il y a. Attends, je vais enlever le camouflage de la gueule. À tout à l'heure les mecs.
You okay? Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
That's what they were making you build?
Yes. The Shagahod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war?
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go. Boss?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Hornets?
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. If Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
The new blood has been rejected.
Are we done here?
Now, onto Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
drift away. My place is with them now.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left analog stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left analog stick to select the medical item and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Cette fois, c'est nous qui sommes fait péter vraiment la gueule. Oh, bah, il est vachement faible, le mec. Alors. Ok, d'accord. Elle a dit ça, ça, ça et ça. Vous voyez, ça, c'est tout ce qui est fait que pour nous guérir. Alors. Hop. Os fracturé. Tac et tac.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
Vraiment dégueu les effets, hein. Je me demande si c'est pas PCSX2 qui fait ce bordel là, parce que franchement c'est moche. Tout à l'heure on avait vu deux yeux rouges, on n'a même pas vu la gueule du bordel. C'était ce Zoro, on va le voir plus tard dans le jeu. Bon. Alors les mecs, je vais pour l'instant m'arrêter là, et on reprend tout de suite après. Parce que si je fais un live trop long, ça risque de couper. Bref, je reviens tout de suite les mecs. Salut, bande de nuls!